Do you view Vice President JD Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No.
Yet another clip of Donald Trump's disastrous Super Bowl interview has gone viral. And in it, Trump single-handedly ends the career of his sitting vice president, really before it begins, by brutally humiliating him in the worst possible way. Folks, you have never seen anything quite like this. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. Folks, I saw this and I almost fell out of my chair laughing. This is so damn good, and I can't imagine how humiliated and shamed JD Vance, who has sacrificed so much by way of his stated principles and integrity, feels at this very moment. Without further ado, here's the clip. I'll see you on the other side.
Do you view Vice President JD Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's very capable. I mean, I don't think that I think you have a lot of very capable people. So far, I think he's doing a fantastic job. It's too early. We're just starting.
But by the time you get to the midterms, he's going to be looking for an endorsement.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that this has been the greatest opening, almost 3 weeks, in the history of the presidency.
It's definitely been the fastest and the most stuff happening.
We've done so much so fast, and we really had to, because they have really, what they've done to our country is so sad. It's so sad. We're going to be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before.
Ouch. There were so many ways to answer that question. Trump could have said, you know, Brett, it's way too soon. I mean, JD has done an amazing job. There's a reason that I picked him to be my running mate. You know, he's so smart. He's so good on the debate stage. You know, he's a veteran, blah, 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 blah. They could have gone with so many different things and then said, you know, it's just too soon to tell. It's just, you know, that's 4 years in advance. You know, we're 3 weeks into my administration. Let JD Vance and I have a chance to govern and really demonstrate ourselves to the American people. There would have been a way to not commit to JD Vance while also not throwing your nominal second in command under the bus. Instead, Trump gave a definitive answer, which is no. Do you see JD Vance as your successor? No, I don't. Ouch. Ouch. And listen, to be clear, there is no official rule. There's no constitutional provision which requires the incumbent vice president be the nominee for his or her political party in the next election. There's nothing that requires sitting presidents to endorse their vice presidential running mates for the next election. There's nothing that requires it except tact and political strategy. You have neutered JD Vance, who, by the way, whatever talents you might want to ascribe to JD Vance, certainly he's not stupid, certainly he is very articulate, certainly he is rhetorically capable, but he's also wildly unpopular. He was always unpopular. He was the least popular of the 4 major candidates. Tim Walz was the most popular, then Kamala Harris, then Trump, then JD Vance. So you have undermined his credibility even further. You have neutered him. That is so stupid. I mean, in business or in politics, any sort of like hierarchical structure, the worst thing you can do as the top dog is undermine your second highest ranking lieutenant, because they're supposed to be your representative. If you undermine them, by extension, you undermine yourself. It also suggests that Donald Trump really doesn't look at JD Vance as somebody with long-term potential, given his unlikability. And there are no meaningful indicators that JD Vance brings something to the table in terms of the base, the electoral base. If anything, Vance was seen by both conservative and liberal election experts at the time to simply be Trump doubling down on parts of the electorate he already secured. But this is the ultimate humiliation. And it also goes to show why JD Vance has been relatively absent, relatively invisible in the Trump administration so far. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are the 2 figureheads. Elon Musk commands more respect, more attention, more power by far than JD Vance. As a matter of fact, as we've talked about, the increasingly common perception is that Musk is the de facto president of the United States, and he's pulling Trump's strings. I mean, this is bad all the way around. It shows the internal dysfunction and suggests, a distance between Trump and JD Vance. What an awful answer to give. And again, let's talk about this. JD Vance in 2015 and 2016 was a prominent conservative. He wrote Hillbilly Elegy. It was adapted into a Netflix movie. He was seen as a conservative intellectual, a principled conservative who genuinely believed in conservative values, but also had a right-wing populist bent. And at the time, he was outspokenly critical of Donald Trump. Trump is stupid. Trump is unprincipled. Trump is immoral. Trump is amoral. Trump is, he compared him to heroin. He did compare him to Hitler. And yet when he saw that Trump was the persistent heart, the persistent nexus of the Republican Party, whether lifelong conservatives liked it or not, what did JD Vance do? He sacrificed those things. He bent the knee. We've even seen recently that he's so loyal to the political expediency of Trump that he's abandoned his principles so much, knowing that Elon Musk is pulling Trump's strings. What did he do recently? Well, when one of Elon Musk's engineers resigned in disgrace after his racist recent past, not distant past, recent past, was exposed, JD Vance went to bat for Elon Musk's 25-year-old engineer, even though that 25-year-old engineer recently endorsed eugenics and conveying hate for Indians. JD Vance's wife is Indian. So are his children. And this 25-year-old Elon Musk engineer, by extension, very clearly dehumanized them and expressed bigoted thoughts towards people who include JD Vance's wife and children. And JD Vance went public, went viral, saying, you know what? I don't agree with the guy's views, but you know what? He should come back, knowing that it would score points with Trump's base and wanting to please Elon Musk, the true power behind the Trump administration. JD Vance has sacrificed so many personal and political principles. And for what? For what? To get this answer to this question?
Do you view Vice President JD Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's...
No. And people should be making fun of JD Vance for this. This should go viral. If you actually check X, formerly known as Twitter, it has gone viral. It's everywhere. People are correctly making fun of JD Vance for this. It's all over the place. And they're right to do so. JD Vance is a loser. JD Vance is pathetic. JD Vance deserves your contempt because JD Vance has sacrificed everything. And for what? To be thrown under the bus by Donald Trump? By the way, a totally predictable outcome. JD Vance, I say, is smart, but in quite many ways is quite foolish. Donald Trump shows no loyalty to anybody. There is only the possibility of short-term transactional loyalty. Donald Trump demands eternal loyalty from you, but the best you will ever get from him is short-term transactional loyalty. And if you outlive your usefulness, and JD Vance has shown no indication of being useful to Trump, you'll be thrown under the bus. Now, who is Trump thinking of as his successor? Who knows? Could be Don Jr. Could be Ivanka. Who knows? We actually might see, Trump attempt to create a political dynasty like the Clintons or the Kennedys or the Bushes. This might not be the end of Trump's grip over MAGA, even if he doesn't try to subvert the 22nd Amendment and run again. Super pathetic. And again, I cannot express this enough. A totally predictable outcome, a totally deserved one. Make sure if you get the opportunity to join in the mocking and the belittling of JD Vance. He quite literally deserves it. This is the ultimate humiliation of a sitting vice president by the sitting president, and we should all bask in it. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.